algebra question. We'll see how to go about this question here. In a question paper, there are 5 questions to be attempted and answer to each has 2 choices, true or false. It is given that no 2 candidates have given the answers to the 5 questions in an identical sequence. For this to happen, the maximum number of students is. So what they're saying is there are 5 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each question has 2 choices, true or false, true or false, true or false. So there are 2 choices for each question here, true or false, and they are saying that no 2 candidates have given the answers to the 5 questions in an identical sequence. So the sequence has to be unique. The sequence has to be unique. So this is more like the arrangement questions that we see in permutations and combinations. So every answer choice, every question has 2 possibilities. The answer has 2 possibilities, true or false. And so total number of combinations would be, you just have to multiply these things. So this is 2 into 2, 4, 2 is 8, 2 is 16, 2 is 32. So the maximum number of students, these are the unique combinations of the answers. These are the unique combinations of the answers. And hence they are asking that there are students who have no 2 students have given the answers to the 5 questions in an identical sequence. So everyone has given a unique sequence. So the total maximum number of unique sequences that can happen is 32. So the maximum number of students who are there are also 32. So the correct option is option D. I hope you have understood this. If you have any doubts, please ask. Okay, I think there are no more questions in this question. So we'll move to the next problem of the day. So you can take 2 minutes to solve this. 3 minutes would be very too much for this question. So take 2 minutes to solve this question. Yeah, it's time. 2 minutes is up. Please select the answer choices. 60% have got option B. 40% have got option C. Again, even this question is not purely algebra question, but we'll see how to go about this question. A person is standing on the first step from the bottom of a ladder. If he has to climb 4 more steps to reach exactly the middle step, how many steps does the ladder have? So let's draw a ladder here. 1, 2, 3. So he's standing on the first step. This is the first step. And he's standing on the first step here. And they are saying if he has to climb 4 more steps to reach the middle step. 4 more steps is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this would be the 4th and this is the 5th. So if he climbs 4 more steps, he reaches the middle step. This is the middle then. So if 5 is the middle step, then the number of steps above this and the number of steps below this should be equal. So the number of steps below 5th step is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there are 4 steps here, and there will be 4 steps here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 steps here. There are 4 steps here. That is, and this middle step. This is the one. Sorry, this middle step. So the total steps are 9. 4 plus 4. The middle step is 1. And the steps that are below this middle step is 4. And the steps above the middle step are 4. So total steps are 4 plus 1 plus 4. That is equal to 9. So the correct answer is option B. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts in this question, you can raise your hand and ask. Else we'll be moving to the next question. Okay, we'll move to the next question. So take 3 minutes to solve this. It's time. Please select the answers that you have got. 50% have got option A, 40% have got option B, 10% have got option C, and nobody has got option D. So we'll see what this problem is asking. So the sum of income of A and B is more than that of C and D taken together. The sum of income of A and C is the same as that of B and D taken together. Moreover, A earns half as much as the sum of the income of B and D, whose income is the highest. So they are asking the highest income, the person with the highest income. So we'll translate every sentences into mathematical equations here. So the first sentence says that the sum of income A and B is more than that of C and D taken together. Let's take A, B, C, and D as the incomes of these people. So they are saying A plus B is greater than C plus D. This is the first one. The sum of the income of A and C is same as that of B and D taken together. So A plus C is equal to B plus D. This is the second equation. And then they are saying, moreover, A earns half as much as the sum of the income of B and D. So A earns half as that of B and D together. So B plus D. This is the third equation. Now, with these three equations, or this inequality and these two equations, we need to find which variable is the highest. So we can see from these two, B plus D, there is B plus D, and here this is A is half of B plus D. So what we can do is, from this thing, we know that B plus D is equal to 2A. This 2 is multiplied with this A, so B plus D is 2A, and so I will substitute the value of B plus D here in equation 2. So substituting the value of this one in equation 2, I would get A plus C is equal to 2A. So B plus D I have directly taken as 2A here, and this implies if I move this A here, this A is equal to C. So from these two equations, equation 2 and 3, we know that A is equal to C. And so what we do is we'll put this value here in the inequality. A plus B is greater than C plus D. So we know that A plus B is greater than C plus D. So we know that A and C are equal. So I'll substitute any one here. C plus B is greater than C plus D. Since these two terms are same, I could shift it this side. B is greater than C plus D minus C. C gets cancelled. So B is greater than D. So we know two things now. We know that B is greater than D, and we know A is equal to C. We have A, B, C, D, and we have this one also. So we at least know that B is greater than D. So D cannot be the answer. So we can eliminate D. And A and C are equal. So, but we don't know that the relation between A and B. But we have been given that A is equal to B plus D by 2. So A is equal to B plus D by 2. So A is nothing but the average of B and D. So A is nothing but average of B and D means A lies between B and D. If this is B, D is greater than B. So A lies between A lies between B and D. So A would be here, and C is also equal to A. So from this, we know that so B should come here, D should come here. This is C and this is A. So B is the highest. So the correct option is option B. I hope things are clear. If you have any doubts, please ask. And if you have any queries, please ask. So, are there any more doubts? Or if there are no more doubts, we'll move to the next question then. So, we'll move to the next question. Take 3 minutes to solve this. Please select the answer choices that you've got. So 20% have got option A, 50% have got option B, 10% have got option C, and 20% have got option D. So let's see how to go about this question. So they are saying P is equal to 40% of A, 65% of B, and Q is equal to 50% of A and 50% of B, where A is greater than B. In this context, which of the following statements is correct? P is greater than Q, Q is greater than P, P is equal to Q. None of the above can be concluded with certainty. We have P is equal to 40% of A. Let A be A here, so 40% of A and 65% of B, and Q is equal to 50% of A plus 50% of B. 50% of A, 50% of B, where A is greater than B. And one thing here, they have not mentioned anything about what is P, nature of P, nature of Q. Whether they are real numbers, whether they are positive numbers, negative numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers, nothing has been mentioned. These are the only information that is given here. So to find out which is greater, we would subtract these things, like we subtract P minus Q, and if this value is greater than 0, then P is greater. If P minus Q is greater than 0, then P is greater. If P minus Q is less than 0, then Q is greater. If P minus Q is equal to 0, then P and Q are equal. I hope these things are clear. So now we have these two equations that we have. So we'll subtract these two. So if I subtract equation 1 and equation 2, P minus Q. So this is 0.4a minus 0.5a, that is minus 0.1a. 0.4 minus 0.5 is minus 0.1. And 0.65b minus 0.5a is plus 0.15b. So this is the equation that we have, and we also know that A is greater than B. Now from these two, we cannot say which one is greater, because we know that A is greater than B, but we know that here we have this minus 0.1A into 0.5B. A has to be greater than B, but we don't know how much A is greater. So what I can do is I'll just substitute. I'll take A as A plus X. Sorry, A is greater than B. So I'll take A is equal to B plus X. B is this increment that is there. So what will happen is minus 0.1 B plus X. Because I know that A is greater than B, so X has to be some positive number. That is the difference between A and B. So this is B plus X plus 0.15B. This is equal to minus 0.1B minus 0.1X plus 0.15B. And this is 0.15 minus 0.1 is 0.05B minus 0.1X. So this value actually depends on the X and also B. So P minus Q, we cannot say whether P is greater than Q or P is less than. We don't know whether this number is greater than, less than, or equal to 0. So we cannot conclude anything from this data that they have given. So the correct answer is option D. See, this is how clever the UPSC is becoming. I mean, they've actually kept CSAT as a qualifying exam, but these questions need a bit of the thorough understanding of the variables in algebra and everything. So they are becoming clever and also cunning. So please now don't stick to any kinds of shortcuts. Understand everything and then try to solve. If you have any doubts, please ask. I'll be happy to help you. Yeah, please ask.
Sir, can't we substitute a value or like put a value can I consider A as 100 or B as 50 and then solve the question because it's given that A is greater than B?
Yeah, but the problem is you don't know how much A is greater than B. In this equation, the difference also matters here. So this is the difference. So if you take A as 100 and B as 50, you may get one answer. If you take A as 0.1 and the B as 0.09, you may get another answer where P can be greater than Q. So that's why you cannot just directly take the numbers here. I mean, in other questions you could have taken, because if this D was not there, for example, if this was not there, you could have taken examples like this and solved. But since none of the above is there, you have to be very careful. And this thing, actually, the difference is nothing but this here depends on B and the difference between these two numbers. This difference P minus Q. And because it depends on the B and the difference between this number, it is very difficult to say whether P is greater than Q or P is less than Q or equal to Q. You need more information than this. If D was not there, you could have substituted any value and you could have calculated them. I hope the things are clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask. If you still have any, I mean, what you said that the D you could have like solving through substitution can be done, but only in those questions where none of the above is not there. So be careful when none of the above is there. And in this case, none of the above was there. So you cannot just ignore. I mean, just try out, because what happens is in substitution we tend to take examples and then try the answers. And once, I mean, if things are coming out, you can select the answer and move on. But sometimes there may be two options that are equal. So in that time, you have to take another example to finally select between those two conflicting options. But in this case, none of the above is there, so we cannot take the examples here. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, if anyone else has any doubt, please ask. I mean, please don't keep anything with yourself. I mean, these type of questions are increasing day by day. I mean, things like this will increase. So please be very careful and look out for these traps that I see, UPSC is setting. I hope there is no more doubt here. So we'll move to the next question then if there are no more doubts in this question. So please take 3 minutes to solve this question. It's time. Please select the answer choices that you've got. 67, I mean, currently there are 6 people who have selected the options. Nobody has got option A and also option D. I mean, no, they have got option D. But the majority have got options B and then followed by option C. So we'll see how to solve this question. See, one thing that I recommend when you are solving CSAT, I mean, in the real exam, please keep your answer sheet clean and and efficiently use the space that is given, because sometimes you may require additional space, and you may not, going to the last page and solving it would be very difficult. So ensure that you are not wasting the precious blank spaces that are there in the question paper. So there are 6 boys, A, B, C, D, E, and F. They play a game of cards. Each has a pack of 10 cards. F borrows 2 cards from A and gives away 5 to C, who in turn gives 3 to B, while B gives 6 to D, who passes on 1 to E. Then the number of cards possessed by D and D, so number of cards possessed by D and D is equal to how much? I mean, equivalent or equal to which option here? So let's see how to go about this question. We just need to organize the data here properly, and things should be sorted out. So we have 6 boys, A, B, C, D, E, and F, and they have 10 cards each. 10 cards each. And now I will go step by step. F borrows 2 cards from A and gives away 5 to C. F borrows 2 cards from A. If he is borrowing 2 cards from A would reduce 2, and F here we would have to add 2 cards. So 2 was removed, given by A, and F has taken it, and gives away 5 to C. So this is minus 5, and C you have plus 5 here. And to C, who in turn gives 3 to B. So this is minus 3 and B was plus 3. While B gives 6 to D, B gives 6 to D, minus 6, and D plus 6. And to D, who passes on 1 to E. So 1 card will minus. So this is not minus sign, so please. D who passes on 1 to E. So this is plus 1. So from D there is minus 1 and here plus 1. So we'll calculate the sum here. 10 minus 2 is 8. And plus 3 minus 6 is minus 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. 10 plus 5 minus 3 is 12. 16 minus 1 is 15. 10 plus 1 is 11. 10 minus 3 is 7. Plus 2 minus 3 is minus 3, and 10 minus 3 is 7. This is 7. So they are saying then number of cards possessed by D and E is equal to D and E together is 26. Is equal to, we need to find which 3 combinations here give rise to, E is equal to 26. A, B, 8 plus 15, 8 plus 7 is 15, and C is 15 plus 12, it is 27. So this is not correct. 15 plus 12 is 27. So this is wrong. B and C and F. B, C is, B plus C is 19. B plus C is 12 plus 7 is 19 plus 7. This is 26. So B plus C, that is 7 plus 12 plus 7 is 19 plus 7 is 26. This is equal to 26. So the correct option is option B. If you are very sure of calculations here, you can directly mark option B and move on. If you want to calculate the other options also, you can just do that. A plus B, 15 plus F, 7 is 22. This is 22. AC, this is 8 plus 12 is 20, and F is 27. This is 27. This is 27, and this is 26. The correct option is option B. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, please ask. Yeah, please ask. Gulzar, you can please ask your doubt. Gulzar, we have unmuted you. If you want to ask, you can ask your doubt. Okay. Keeper, we have unmuted you. If you want to ask, please ask. Is there anyone? Is there any more doubt? I mean, any doubts in this question? If you have, please ask. Yeah, Deepti, please ask.
सर हमें कैसे पता लगा कि D plus E को ऐड करना है हमें?
So they have asked here, the last sentence. Then the number of cards possessed by D and E is equal to the number of cards possessed by. So D and E यहीं पे बोला है. क्वेश्चन में ही पूछ रहे हैं कि D plus E जो टोटल कार्ड्स है इनके पास उतना इन किसी मतलब कॉम्बिनेशन में किसके पास है.
Okay, sir.
So are there any doubts in this question? If you have any doubts, please ask, or else we'll move to the next question. Okay, we'll move to the next question. So take 3 minutes to solve this. Please select the answer choices that you have got. 78% have got option C, 11% have got option D, and 11% have got option B, and nobody has got options A. So majority have got enough option C, 84%. So we'll see how to go about this question. They're saying that if x is between -3 and -1 and y is between -1 and 1, then x square minus y square is in between which of the following? -9. So we're actually asking you to calculate the range of x square minus y square. And they are saying x is between -3 and -1, and this is x, and y is between -1 and 1. This is y. So we have to calculate the range of x square and y square. The range means from the low to the high, the lowest value and the highest value. So to calculate the lowest value of x square minus y square, we have to minimize this x square and we have to maximize this y square. That is when this would be the, so I'll just write it here. So we have x square minus y square. To make it the lowest, the highest, to make this the lowest, the expression lowest, this has to be the minus, the symbol with the minus sign has to be the highest, and x square has to be the lowest. So x square, we know that when any variable is increased to the power square to the power of 2, the lowest value is 0. Because this cannot go below 0, because any number that is, even if you take negative numbers to the power of 2, you get positive numbers, and the least is 0. The least value of any number which is raised to the power 2 is 0. So for the lowest part of x square is 0, and we have to see whether x has 0 here. X is not in the range of, 0 is somewhere here. So x doesn't have, this is only from here to here. So the lowest value that x can have is 1. So this is 1 square. So x will be 1, and the highest value of y, y can be highest is 1. So this is also 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So the lowest value of x square minus y square is 0. And now we'll find out the highest value here. X square can be, in this case, when it has to be highest, x square has to be it has to be highest here, and y square has to be the lowest. So x square can be highest only when x can be the highest. In this case, the highest value is 3, minus 3. So this will be 3 square minus 3 whole square. Minus y is the lowest value of y is 0. 0 is there, so lowest can be 0 because any variable to the power of square has the least value of 0. And since y is in between minus 1 and 1, the lowest value is 0. This is 0, this is 9, minus 0, this is 9. So the value of the range of this thing is 0 to 9, but it is not including this 9. 0 is not included, and y is not 0, yeah, and y is also 9 is also not included. So the value ranges between 0 and 9, and it is not 0 and 9 are not included. So the correct answer is option D. I hope this is clear. I mean, if there are any doubts, please ask. Yeah, LK, please ask.
Sir, how to consider lowest and highest value? ಈಗ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ವೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇಲಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಿಮಿಷ, if there are any for example, if there is any variable a minus b, if you want to calculate the lowest value of this, is you have to subtract the highest. This has to be the highest and this has to be the lowest. For example, I mean, if any value, in this case, I've given the example here itself. If a plus b has to be the lowest, both these numbers has to be lowest. But in this case, the b, because b has the negative sign, b has to be the lowest. Only then this whole expression will be the lowest. That's why I have considered y square has to be highest. And given that y lies between minus 1 and 1, y, the maximum value that y can attain is 1. So 1 square is 1. And the lowest in this thing is the lowest value that x can attain. X ranges between minus 3 and minus 1. The lowest that it can attain is 1. Minus 1. So minus 1, the whole square is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. And I hope this is clear. If you have still any doubt, please ask. Is it clear? LKR?
Doubt, sir.
Any problem? Please let me know where you are.
ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ವೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್, ಅದೇ ತಾನೆ ಅದ ಡೌಟ್? ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ದ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು?
ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ವೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ 1 ಬಂದಿದೆ, ವೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಕೂಡ 1 ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0 ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಎ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎ ಮೈನಸ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎನಿ ನಂಬರ್ and b can be any number. So for example, let's take b can be between 1 to 10 and a can be between minus 5 to minus 1. So minus 5 ಇಂದ minus 1 ಅಂತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನೇ ನಂಬರ್ನ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 10 minus 5, ಇದು ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ? ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಂಬರ್, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಂಬರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ, ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್, so the total value will decrease. So for example, let's take 10 minus 5. Now if you are increasing this is 5. If this case is same, and if you are increasing this number, it becomes 6. If it becomes 6, then the value is 4. If it becomes 7, then the value is 3. If 10 minus 8, the value is 2. 10 minus 9, the value is 1. 10 minus 10, the value is 0. And if you again increase this, 10 minus 11 is minus 1. So the more you increase this value, the higher it can, the lower it will fall, this expression. In this case, y can go only till 1. So in this case, I have reached y has reached 11 or b has reached 11 here. But in this case, the constraint is y is between -1 and 1. So the highest value that y can attain is only 1. So that's why I have put 1 here. And in this case, this can be, the whole expression will be lower, and this also falls. So in this case, for example, I hope you have understood this. So in this case, it was like earlier it was 10 minus 5. This expression was 5. Now I have to decrease this value. What will I do to decrease this value? I have to increase this value or decrease this value. If I decrease this value and if I increase this value will fall. For example, earlier I had kept this 10 constant and increased this value 5, 6, 7, 8. So the value fell from 10 minus 5 fell from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because I was increasing this negative part. Now if I decrease this, for example, if I keep this constant, if I decrease this, it becomes 9 minus 5. That's 4. 8 minus 5, that is 3. 7 minus 5, that is 2. See, even if I decrease this also, the value will fall. If I increase this also, the value will fall. So if I do both, the value will fall. So the least the least that this expression can attain is when this value is the maximum. And this is the maximum and this is the minimum. This whole expression would reach its lowest value. I hope I have cleared your doubt. If you still have clear.
Yes, sir. Clear answer. Thank you.
So if anyone else has any doubt, please ask. Yeah, Dick.
सर x की वैल्यू 0 बताई है आपने कि x की मिनिमम वैल्यू 0 होती है, बट क्वेश्चन में हमने x करके वैल्यू 1 कर रखी है।
x का मिनिमम वैल्यू, x का मिनिमम वैल्यू हमने 0 इसलिए नहीं रखा है क्योंकि x इज बिटवीन -3 एंड -1. 0 यहाँ है. x cannot be 0 because x lies only between -3 and -1. So the least that x square. हाँ,
लोवेस्ट वैल्यू तो -3 हुई ना सर इसकी.
हाँ, पर x स्क्वायर की वैल्यू कितनी होगी? अगर x -3 है तो x स्क्वायर की वैल्यू कितनी होगी? 9 होगी ना.
यस सर.
तो अगर -1 हो तो 1
प्लस का 1.
हाँ, तो इन दोनों में से कौन सा लोएस्ट है? 1. तो इसलिए मैंने लोएस्ट 1 रखा.
ओके.
I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts, please ask. Okay. There is one more announcement to make. From tomorrow, we'll do this live session through YouTube. So we were actually planning to start the doubts. For just the inquiries, doubt solving sessions, so you can attend that session and you can ask your doubts there. So I hope things are clear today's session. So we'll meet tomorrow at 8 o'clock and we'll post the YouTube link at around 7:55 tomorrow. Thank you for coming. I hope the session was helpful to you. Good night.